Imagine this: 8 billion humans. Every single person alive, babies, kids, teenagers, adults, grandparents, all standing together, shoulder to shoulder, packed so tightly the entire planet looks like one giant music festival. Now picture this: crowd waiting for a countdown. 3, 2, 1. Jump in that instant. 8 billion people launch into the air at the exact same time. For the tiniest moment in history, Earth is completely human-free. No one is touching the ground. The planet itself is ghosted by its own species. And then, after less than a second, everyone comes crashing back down together. What happens next might surprise you. Will the Earth wobble? Will cities crumble? Will scientists panic as the planet gets yeeted off course? Or will the universe just laugh at how little impact we actually make? Let's break it down. The average human weighs around 62 kilograms. Multiply that by 8 billion, and humanity's combined mass adds up to roughly 500 billion kilograms. That's like stacking 80 million elephants into one massive pile. Now, picture all of that weight moving up and then slamming back down at the exact same time. Sounds catastrophic, right? At first glance, it feels like we're about to knock the planet out of orbit. But here comes the twist. The Earth itself weighs about 6,000 billion kilograms. Compared to that, our jump is less than a mosquito bumping into a truck. No matter how synchronized, our collective leap barely registers against the scale of the Earth. But don't get too comfortable. Just because the planet itself won't care doesn't mean we humans wouldn't cause chaos. The moment of landing would release energy equal to about 1,500 tons of TNT. That's like setting off a small nuclear bomb. Cities would shake, windows would rattle, seismographs around the world would light up in confusion. Somewhere, a geologist would stare at their data and whisper, "Did the entire human race just trip at once?" The answer would be yes. For that brief moment, the ground beneath our feet would complain loudly. Now, imagine if everyone jumped in the same place. Let's say, hypothetically, we all crowded into one city. That city would be obliterated. Streets cracked, buildings trembled. Power lines snapped. The unlucky town chosen for humanity's jump experiment would instantly regret hosting us. If instead we spread out across all continents, the effects would cancel out, and the planet would feel almost nothing at all. The only way to make the event dramatic would be to build one giant platform floating in the ocean and make all of humanity jump together on it. The landing would create a splash so massive it would make a tsunami. Waves would ripple outward, crashing into coastlines, flooding ports, and terrifying every fisherman alive. It would be the biggest cannonball in history. But the funniest part is not the physics, it's the people. 8 billion humans standing shoulder to shoulder, that's a nightmare of logistics. Somebody would lose their shoe. Somebody would start arguing. Somebody would yell, "Hey, who stepped on me?" At least 1 billion people would try to film it on their phones while live streaming to confused audiences. TikTok would crash. Memes would be born instantly. Scientists would cry while influencers pose midair for slow-motion shots. And of course, after the jump ends, at least 7 billion people would shrug and say, "Wait, that was it. That was kinda disappointing." Humanity would spend months planning the greatest coordinated jump in history, only for the result to be underwhelming chaos. Still, the event would go down in history. Not because of the damage to Earth, but because it would prove that humans can, when motivated, do something completely pointless just for the sake of it. That's our true superpower. We might not be able to move the planet, but we can move mountains of energy when it comes to ridiculous experiments. The Earth wouldn't budge, but our knees definitely would. Billions of people icing their legs at the same time might be the real earthquake. Hospitals would overflow with twisted ankles. Shoe companies would sell out instantly. Orthopedic doctors would become the wealthiest people alive. So here's the final verdict. If all humans jumped at once, Earth would shrug. The planet would not move, it would not fly into space, and it would not care. But cities would shake, seismographs would go wild, and humanity would once again prove that we are the kings and queens of unnecessary chaos. The science says nothing much would happen, but the memes say otherwise. 8 billion humans jumping together would be the greatest global prank of all time, a prank on ourselves. So now the question is, what should we all do at once next time? Should we all sneeze together? Should we all scream brew at the same exact second? Should we all do the floss dance in synchronized chaos? Imagine the seismic readings from that. Whatever it is, it would probably still be pointless, but it would definitely be legendary. So, if you enjoyed this ridiculous experiment, smash the like button so hard it registers on the Richter scale. Subscribe for more insane what-if scenarios, and tell me in the comments, what's the next thing humanity should try together? Until then, remember this: stay curious, stay chaotic, and never stop asking, what if?